Hi, I am going to try and do a brief introduction of myself before I begin the reading. And I'd like to start off by saying hi. I'm Ula, an artist and an intuitive. And I've been trying to start a YouTube channel for I don't know how many years now. And I guess this is just another version. And I just want to welcome you here. I want to welcome you into this space. I want to welcome you to whatever we're going to create on this platform. Hopefully, the space allows for that. And I hope that this is a space that you can receive messages, guiding messages, or anything that you need along your path that is uplifting. Because I'm going to share a few things that aren't also just pertained to readings. Because I feel like it tends to get a little bit boxed in when I just do one thing. And I've just decided this is going to just be a space for nourishment. And one of the best ways, and at least I know how to give that, is through card readings, and also knowing that there'll be other creations along the way that I would love to share with you. With that said, welcome here, and I hope that this reading is going to be helpful for you. Always use your discernment and your own intuition to tune in to the message so that you know whether it is for you or whether it is not for you. Otherwise, let's begin. So, the first card we have on the table, which is the overall message for the card, is this one. I hope you're able to see the imagery a bit well. As we're starting off this particular journey, I'm using my computer's webcam because I don't have any other video recording source. My phone that I could do this with doesn't have a lot of memory, so I might be recording and then I end up not getting the full picture. Anyway, let's begin officially once again. The first card we have here is the groundedness or gravity. The first thing that I'm getting from this card is almost like a sense of peace, and I'm hoping the light is not too bright behind me. I tried putting this so that we can see if we can see things better. But what you see here is a woman on top of the world, and the animals they almost seem like they're looking up to her. They're looking up to her, even though she's not doing anything. And it almost feels like an energy of completion, because this is almost giving me the vibe of the world card in tarot, which often expresses an energy of completion. It's almost like you've arrived at a space inside yourself that is at peace. But let's look at the other cards first before I continue with that train of thought. The next row of cards that I have here, we have this. It says crystal clear intentions, but what I see here, I feel like you're holding almost like a crystal ball. What I see, at least with this, it feels like you're looking into a crystal ball and you're trying to see into your own future or your own reality or a different timeline, and you're trying to understand the vision that you're seeing. The vision that you're seeing or being given through the crystal ball, and you're trying to look into it, and I feel like the more focused you are into looking into this crystal ball, the more you are entering into a place of timeless wisdom. It's almost like the more you stare at it, I'd imagine almost like it's like you have a painting on a wall, and the more you look at this painting, the more you're drawn into it, and the more you're seeing, or the painting is beginning to talk back to you, and you're seeing something different. So this is not necessarily trying to seek your fortune. It's more of maybe you are paying close attention to something at work. Maybe you're paying close attention to your healing journey. Maybe you're paying close attention to your relationships or the people around you. There's something that you are peering into. You're looking into. It's like you're holding a drop and really allowing yourself to understand or see the universe in a drop. Understand how to see the world through a drop. And you're beginning to gain wisdom in whatever it is that you're focusing on, whatever it is that you're peering into, whatever it is that you're looking into, where other people might just see, for example, with the first example of a crystal ball, where other people might just be seeing like a sphere of glass. You are actually seeing visions within this sphere of glass, or it's beginning to show you things. So again, maybe making it less abstract and more practical. Maybe you're looking into something at work and guys are like, oh, don't focus on that, maybe that's useless, or don't worry too much about that, that doesn't have meaning. But for you, the more you're looking at it, the more you're gaining wisdom in it. It could be maybe someone who guys are like, oh, that person isn't as amazing as this maybe other person. But the more you're looking at them, the more you're actually realizing just how amazing they are. It's like the longer you stare at something, the longer you look at something, the more it is revealing to you. And what it is revealing to you is timeless wisdom. It's like something that goes beyond what can be seen through the physical reality, or what our minds can sometimes, not even from a negative place, but our minds tend to get fixated on a line of thought, get fixated on this is how things are. But you are peering into it and gaining the wisdom that goes beyond what the mind could be perceiving. And I feel like whatever you are being able to pick up on is almost like helping you see a vision of how things are changing. It's almost like you're able to step into the stream of the change that is happening, and you are seeing how things are unraveling from the roots up. You are seeing how something takes shape or takes form, because with this one it almost feels like you are peering into something that is I don't know if any of you have watched the movie Lucy. If you haven't, that's okay. But if you have, there's an aspect of it that, at least when I was watching, there's that thing of, it's almost like you're watching something from the beginning of time, like something at its conception go all the way to its own death, and you're like perceiving this entire cycle. And again, it's from your focus on something, you're able to almost like transcend or break free of time and see like the progression or the trajectory of something, such that again, when we were talking about, and these are just examples, I don't know what's happening in your life, but it's almost like you are able to see the life cycle of something. Like, let's say it's a creative project. Someone is like, oh, I just dropped that idea isn't good enough, but you are holding on to that drop because you know there's something more. You know that might be something more within that drop that other people are not able to see. And therefore you're able to begin to see the potential because you're able to see the or perceive a sense, because we don't know how things are going to go, but we can have a sense or an inkling that this might be something worth pursuing, because we can almost sense like its potential, its life cycle, how it's going to change and shift. And so the first card again, it's not the first card, just from this deck, that clarifies now this whole reading. It feels like, again, I don't know whether we can get close enough. As again, we can see these cycles taking place day and night, and from above to below, it's like there's a continuous cycle happening, and it feels like you are tuning in deeper to that cycle. Whatever process this is, you're tuning in deeper to that cycle. Again, with this, it's almost like with this one, sorry, it's almost like with this one, you are seeing the potential in something, and you're beginning to like your wheels are beginning to spin, and you're beginning to almost like catch a vision of that pattern. And then with the next card, you are, because this one, it's written, I doubt you can see it, it's written in a journey. And now with this one, the timeless wisdom, it feels like you are, as I said now before, with this one, you're seeing much deeper, because with the inner journey, it is maybe, I don't know, like, this is just me riffing off the top of my head, but how I see the inner journey is like, we, from the physical perspective, we understand the world on a 3D level, but the moment we shift our focus or our eyes or our vision to our internal experience or our internal world, it's like you've shifted dimension, you've entered a different dimension. And again, with this one, it feels like with whatever motion you are or movement you're seeing in that crystal ball, going back to the previous example, it's almost like taking you into a deeper dimension, which is now the timeless wisdom. And it feels like you're entering into a space of retreat, because this card has been written retreat, but it's taking you into a space where you're beginning to understand things within yourself that you weren't able to perceive before. And it's almost like it looks like you're trapped, but it doesn't feel like you're trapped. It feels like this is a limited perspective, but this is what is happening. It feels like you are in a space where you are, I don't want to say protected through the journey, but you are, as you're going through this inner journey, it looks like not much is happening on the outside, because you look like you are maybe like dormant. I don't know, because when you're retreating, it looks like you are moving into a space where you are safe or held or protected, I guess. Um, and the next card that we have is a self-love card. So what I'm feeling with this self-love card is almost like the unspoken wisdom that you're gaining through this is not in particular self-love. It could be for you. It could be a particular message of self-love that you're navigating, but it feels more like a journey of love in the whole sense. It's like understanding your place in the grand scheme of things, understanding where you are, where you stand, who you are, and how to integrate yourself with everything that is happening around you. And lastly, we have this duality card. And it feels like, because I'm really curious about the change, the winds of change that are happening here, because I want to ask that question. And perhaps maybe with this self-love card, maybe these are the winds of change that are happening. Maybe it's an emotional transition that you're going through. Maybe it's whatever it is that you're beginning to discover within this, whatever timeless wisdom you're beginning to discover within this process is bringing you to a very deep emotional cleansing that is helping you understand. Because I remember talking about how this feels almost like a prison, because the bird seems trapped in a sense, but it's almost like saying you're not trapped, you're just more of in this state. You're in this state of going inside and finding deeper wisdom. And so you seem like you've stagnated. You seem like you've stagnated. And I think it goes back to the main card that we started with, which was the lady that was sleeping. It seems like you are just asleep, but we all know, even like in states of sleep, we we are still receiving, we're still connected to the rest of life, and actually even more connected because we are in the subconscious realm, which is connected to everything, and we can receive a lot of information in that state. And I feel like the celebration that is happening is more of the aspect of being able to tune into deeper levels of yourself through this subconscious journey, of gaining now the timeless wisdom. And you are, even though you're seeming like you are stuck, you're actually moving. And you are, because we can see also the planets, it feels like you are, for some you could be astral traveling when you're sleeping, for some it could just mean that you are receiving information when you're sleeping, or it could just mean that within the subconscious state you are gaining so much wisdom. And now in this retreat state, you are also going through a lot of shedding. You're going through a lot of emotional release, allowing yourself to let go of the layers that perhaps stop you from perceiving love in its purest form. And once again, as I said, it could be self-love in the literal sense, or it could just be the feeling or the knowing that you are love and everything around you is love. So there's a deep cleansing and shedding that is happening, that is allowing you to open up. And finally, you are going to be able to move from this state, from this place, and move to a higher dimension in the physical reality. Because I feel like this state is still happening, but in her dreams. It's still not a state that is here in the physical reality. It's a state that is still happening in this inner journey. As you are peering into these worlds, you are still in that state of change and metamorphosis, and allowing things to break down, allowing yourself to see who you are, the life cycle of things, understanding that, oh, actually, this is might not be a healthy cycle that I'm in. Maybe I need to break it. Or you're beginning maybe to even learn about your patterns, your limitations, um, your karmic cycles that perhaps you get stuck in. So you're seeing change as it's happening, and it feels like the changes that are happening is taking you into a deep emotional state to be able to release. And at the bottom of the deck here, we have purity. Again, we see a lady under ice, and she seems like she's asleep. Again, this is what is taking me back into the expression of being in those subconscious realms, and you are still going through those changes from the inside. And then we have the daily compass here at the bottom of this deck. Um, and I feel like this is something that you are like day in, day out, you are peering into this crystal ball. Like from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you are allowing yourself to move or pierce through the veil so that you can see. You're going into that inner journey. You're going through that inner journey to gain that timeless wisdom, to gain a deeper perspective of what's happening in your situation. And lastly, at the bottom of this deck, we have burden. So again, it feels like you are discovering a lot of things that are helping you see where you might be getting caught up in things, while at the same time allowing yourself to release the burdens so that you can see a greater vision. I feel like you've already begun seeing this greater vision of where you want to go. And knowing that it'll take both of you, both aspects of you, the masculine and the feminine. So you understand that it'll take both of you, both of yourself, to get to this higher realm, and you're beginning to understand what you need for this journey. Again, maybe if it was more on a more grounded level of an example, it could be you're beginning to discover what you need in your work, maybe to fulfill something, to achieve something in your work, or to achieve something within yourself. You are beginning to see what it takes, because the more you release these burdens, the more you are awakening to what it means to break free so that you can progress forward. So let me pick one last card. Hopefully Tarot can explain a bit more. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups, and again, it feels like it's a very deep emotional transition you're navigating, or at least it might feel very, very emotional. Even though it's a work thing, maybe it could still be emotional. Something that you are is really hitting the heart space so that you can expand. But the card that came out is the judgment card, which for me just clarifies what we are saying here. You are discovering the truth, because the judgment is always about the truth, knowing the truth. and allowing for that to now be what takes shape or takes form. Because with the judgment card, there's always, in the traditional card, it's a trumpet. It's like the whole awakening, people from the graves standing up and everything. It's like the moment of judgment is here, the moment of truth is here. But it almost feels like you are peering into what is real, into what is true, so that what is true can be what takes form, what rebirths with this change. With this change that is happening, you want, or at least to the cards that I see on the table, you want what is real and true to be what gets reborn, to be what comes into new form. And so you are allowing yourself to go on that journey, go on that deep subconscious journey, and that knowing that you are supported and you are cheered on, because this could also seem like the animals that are around you could be like spirit guides, or just the fact that the reality is cheering you on this path, like you're gonna do great, or you're doing amazing, you're on the right path of rebirth. Because also the butterflies here have chains on her, like it's almost like they're the ones that are holding her up. So for me, it feels like they're the ones that are almost like guiding and orchestrating, because they almost look like puppet strings, but it almost feels like they're the ones that are weaving this transformation, giving you this wisdom of what it means to go through a transition and go through a rebirth. So yeah, that is what I see in the cards for today. I hope this reading has resonated for you. If it hasn't, maybe you can catch me in another video. But I hope all is well, and I hope to see you again soon.